Hey guys, if you're starting taking testosterone or any other type of steroid stack, you should know that like when you titrate the doses up, you might reach a point where you start getting some adverse side effects. For example, when you start taking testosterone, just say you're only taking testosterone and you bump the dose up from say 300 to 400 or even higher than that, you probably reach a point where you'll start getting adverse effects like estrogenic effects. Probably break out in acne all over your back, which you might not have ever gotten before. You might start getting a lot of headaches and high blood pressure, or hypertension is called. You might just not feel great. Your energy levels are down. You might have adverse sexual side effects, or you might get man boobs or gynecomastia, which is like puffiness of the nipples or hardness behind the nipples, things like that, irritation of the nipples too. So you'll reach a point where there's like a wall, and then you need to back off and add some other type of compound, whether it's an AI, aromatase inhibitor, or another compound like masteron or primobolan, or even EQ is known to control the estrogen. So there's that. But as well, when you start taking other steroids on a stack, so say you find that 300 is the sweet spot for testosterone, right? Where it's you're getting the best estrogenic level at that. Then you add on, like what I'm doing, I'll just give mine as the example, the primobolan, or not primobolan this cycle, I did that last cycle, masteron, which I've matched 300 as well, matched the testosterone with, and NPP at 150. And say at that level, you feel great, you feel amazing, okay? Then you decide to start titrating, say, the dose of NPP up, or of masteron up, or all three together a little bit. 100 milligrams a day, say higher on, not a week, sorry, say on the NPP. So now you're taking 250, 300 NPP. So you got everything at a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio now. All of a sudden, this is what happened to me. I reached a wall, a point where it was not working in the optimal range, and part of it is just because you're not acclimatized to that high level of steroid dose, right? And to be honest, taking the 300 test, 300 masteron, and 150 NPP is a significantly high dose for a beginner cycle. But you reach a point where it's like it becomes like you're in the red zone. Say like in a car, you're driving a standard stick shift, and you just put the gas pedal down. All of a sudden, you'll be going in the red zone, and if you keep it at that point too long, you might blow your transmission or something like that, right? Your car will start smoking or get fucked, right? So you don't want to be riding your car in that red zone. But at the same time, if there's like the zone below it, say 300 to 500 revs per minute, 5,000, sorry, 3,000 to 5,000 revs per minute. Then you're like, your car is fucking like, you got the revs high, you're speeding down the highway, you know what I mean? But you're not fucking up your car, right? Although over time it could, if you rode that like high revs all the time. But once in a while, you're all doing like drop gear, change lanes, and then go back to fifth gear. So in that analogy, like when we're not doing a cycle where, you know, you get into like medium high dosages, your revs start going up, your gym quality, your energy levels, your stamina, your sexual functions, your psychology is better. But then once you start going high, I noticed like my psychology went a bit off. And like for one, like I drive to Niagara Falls for work all the time, and in Niagara Falls there's a lot of I don't want to say I'm racist, but there's a lot of Indian people that go there, from India, like but they live in like the Toronto area, and they are the absolute worst drivers. They don't follow the rules of the road, and like you almost get in fucking accidents, and they're driving down the fucking highway at like 30 kilometers below the speed limit, or just changing lanes without, like, I hate to be stereotyped, but it's just the way it is, because they come from fucking Mumbai or wherever, where there's like no rules of the road. They come to Canada, they're all newcomers here. Anyway, it fucking pisses me off. Like I was getting the worst kind of roid rage, having to deal with these stupid ass fucking drivers. Like normally I could deal with it pretty calm and cool headed in my mind, just be like, what a fucking asshole, whatever. I was like raging a few times. Other time with my girlfriend, I don't know if you watched my previous videos and things, like my suspicions of her doing some things, check out the videos if you want, but like my mind just wasn't in a good place, and I felt like anxiety levels were not in a healthy range, and I felt like my energy levels were not even ideal to be like at the gym. Like they weren't great, and I was getting a bit of headaches behind my eyeballs and things like that, and I think my blood pressure was a little bit higher than it should be. So anyway, my whole point of this video is you test your limits to see what the tolerable dosages are physiologically, psychologically, and so I brought it back to where I was running everything before, which was, you know, fine, and I feel great again. Like I don't feel like I'm like my energy levels are low, and I don't feel as aggressive. You know, but there is maybe a slight aggression behind there, but that's like the type of thing you can channel at the gym and fucking be repping hard, repping out your weights, and like me going to the boxing tonight, you know, be fucking hitting a bag maybe with a little bit more enthusiasm and things like that, but it's not like it's manifesting itself in dysfunctional ways or uncontrollable ways, right? I mentioned in another video, say you're like a chariot with like 4 horses, like, you know, the old Roman times where they're pulling a little cart. You know, you got like 4 horses in front of you, tons of power, but you got them controlled by the reins, right? You're like, or hey, you make it stop if you want, or turn one way or another. If you took your hands off those reins and let those horses just go wherever, who knows what would happen, right? You'd be out of control, and that's kind of what happens when you start pushing dosages a little bit higher, especially as a beginner. Like, I wouldn't recommend even beginners taking the dosages I'm currently taking, and I consider myself kind of a beginner, and I know some of you guys have criticized me who are probably more experienced than I am, that I'm running doses a little higher. I get that, but I feel like what I'm running right now, the 300 test, 300 mast, and 100 NPP, it's like, it's a great cycle. It's exceeding my expectations on my physique and my strength. My physique, I'm cutting weight and getting stronger at the same time, and getting more muscular and vascular. Which reminds me, I forgot to take the Cialis today. Cialis on top of that that's the addition to the stack, making me very vascular, I believe. And I'm not going to push it higher anymore, or add on something like an Anavar to this cycle, because I just don't want to again push my physiological limits beyond what is potentially healthy, such as my it could be something like my lipids, my blood pressure, other things as well. Okay, so what do you guys think about that? As far as some of you who might be experienced in the realm of taking anabolic steroids, is what I'm talking about, does that make sense? Or like what would be your input on this? Have you guys experienced kind of like anxiety, not necessarily like a roid rage, but like hyper anxiety levels from taking like too much nandrolone or something like that? So leave in the comments what you all think about this video. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.